Hey, what is up everybody? I have been editing videos and stuff, getting ready for this big sort of Route 66 thing that we did, and I'm trying to get videos out on a more regular basis, and I realized that I am sort of faceless on my own channel. Like, I've never made a video really introducing myself, what I do, my hobbies, my interests, sort of letting you know what I'm all about, why I create these things, and that kind of thing. So I figured today I would take time to sort of record myself and talk a little bit about myself, where I came up with all this and how this all came to be. A little bit about me. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. Actually, I'm not from Nashville, Tennessee. I currently live in Nashville, Tennessee. I spent 23 years in Los Angeles, California. Prior to that, I lived in Tampa, Florida. And many years ago, I was born in Buffalo, New York. So it's been quite a journey. I'm married. I have 2 kids. They're both teenagers now. One just started driving. The other one's 14. You'll see them in a lot of the videos. I try to include them as often as I can. You know, they come with us on family trips, obviously. So you see them. The older one, Nicholas, was heavily featured in the Route 66 Part 1 last year when we drove in 2021 from Santa Monica, California to St. Louis. I made a whole series of videos on that trip last year, and so he was my main co-pilot in those. And this year, the first few days, you'll see my younger son, Noah, who accompanied me on the first leg before we met up with older son and my wife in St. Louis, and then continued on our journey. But a little bit about me. I always had hopes and dreams of getting into the movie business, especially when I moved to LA many years ago in the late 90s. I thought I would be able to get a job in the movies, and it proved to be a little bit more difficult than one would expect.
When I lived in New York, they made it sound like they were giving sitcoms out to stand-ups at the airport here, you know. I've been here for 6 months, all I got to show for it is black lung.
Or one had expected at the time. I was much younger, obviously, and more naive in those days. And I dabbled. I got some crazy stories that, if they're told all together, it makes it sound like I did a lot. But I never really made it happen to the point of a career, so to speak. I did like day work here and there.
All right, Ed, next victim.
Yeah, this guy's Mark DiNatale from Hollywood, California.
Yeah, he looks like a single guy.
Yeah, I accidentally scratched a valuable Chippendale desk that my mother gave me. And is there anything I can do to get the scratch out before she sees it?
Well, first of all, having Chippendale dances on your desk is not a good idea, Stephen.
Never wanted to be an actor. I only cared about being behind the scenes. That's the other thing I want to make that clear. I never had a desire to be an actor. Although I was in a movie, a very low budget movie that I think played in some third world country in 1998 or 1999.
Big guy, you make sure nothing happens to Monty tonight, okay?
Tony?
Yeah.
We...
Yeah?
We need to talk. I was just trying to feed him. I gave him some chicken soup and here's a big bowl of chicken soup for Monty Bonavia, a nice Jewish boy.
Not Jewish.
Who the fuck cares?
Smells good, how am I supposed to eat it?
That's your fucking problem. He drowned. What the hell are we gonna tell Julian?
Forget Julian. How are we gonna tell Bernardo? How are we gonna tell Bernardo that the dumb son of a bitch, he killed him?
But I worked on a Michael Bay commercial for 2 days that was shot in San Francisco. I worked on a movie with Renee Zellweger, the second movie she did after Jerry Maguire, I think it was. So there's been some work, but it never was enough to sustain a career. So I ended up getting a regular job. And then the next thing I know, 9 years went by in a corporate job, a job that had nothing to do with any reason I moved to LA. And I got really sort of bummed about that. I am not a corporate person. My wife, God bless her, she is fine with that. I'm sure she'd like to do something else, but she doesn't have the same hang-ups that I do. And so I left that job to go back to school to get a degree that I was so close to getting. I went back to multimedia, because at this point tapeless recording devices had come out, SD cards, that kind of thing. So I finished my degree at CSUN, Cal State University of Northridge. I did that in 2012, and then sort of decided to go on my own business of video and photography, mostly doing video in 2012. And I was able to do some good stuff. I did video for my son's school. They did talent shows and plays and all sorts of things like that, and I helped the school out with that, and I would sell DVDs of the performances to the parents, and that had actually worked out quite well, and the word got out to a few other schools, and I did graduations and culminations and things like that, and it actually was quite fun. It wasn't constant, it was a couple times a year, but that worked out pretty well, but nothing that you can really live off of. So while that was going on, I sort of then resorted to being a stay-at-home dad, and I say that because of the weird sort of hang-ups people might have about that. I know that's not really the case anymore. There's a lot more stay-at-home dads than you could possibly imagine. I actually, being one, you get to see how many others there are during school pickups and drop-offs, and that was fine. My wife, luckily enough, made a good enough money where that sort of was okay, and I would pick up the sort of odd jobs here and there with the freelance photography and video work, and we made it work. And my kids got to have someone home, for better or for worse. My dad certainly never had that kind of time to be hanging around during the day and doing all this stuff. So I've been way more involved in their lives than my dad was, and this is no sort of cheap shot against him, but it's just a different time. So I'm very actually proud of that. So regardless of what people think, I'm very proud of the time I got to spend with them and be there for them and sort of give them an experience that I never had, and a lot of people my age I don't think had that. So I'm very happy about that. Now, come full circle, they're getting older. They don't need dad around that as often, and I, even at my age, still struggle to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. We started doing these family trips, and I love video. I love documenting them anyway, so I would film them for our own sort of thing. But then as I would sort of watch YouTube and see what's going on there, I'm like, what if I made home movies but sort of released them on YouTube for other people to enjoy or check out, like just going places. And granted, the stuff up until now hasn't been astronomical in terms of travel. Like, we're not traveling specific sites just for me to make videos. These are trips that we plan, these are things that we do, and I just happen to roll an insane amount of video for, and then I come home after the trip is over and I edit them. I have no desire to sort of edit on the fly and edit day of. Like, that's very stressful to me. It takes me out of the moment. Like, I like, some of my videos are not like hardcore travel videos, because it's a combination of me being in the moment and me documenting stuff. I can't take myself out of experience this stuff with my family for the sake of the video. Maybe I'll get there one day if I tour places that I've been before. But right now it's a combination of both, and I try to make the videos reflect that. Actually, the videos I try to put together have a sort of elevated version of a home movie, but sort of retain all the rough edges of it. Like, there's a lot of things I put in, like goofy mistakes and stuff like that, that just, in the grand scheme of all this, make me laugh. Hold this. Film me. Make my kids laugh when we go back and watch this stuff. So that's how that came to be. So I'm really trying to get the YouTube thing going in terms of what I do, and I'm hoping down the line the trips can get more elaborate. I'm noticing changes in my editing to make them faster paced, but also show a lot of what we did. I like to inform the viewers of the addresses of places, and I'll put links of the websites, and like in case people find any of the stuff interesting. And so yeah, so it's not super technical. I don't have tons of cameras. Like, you don't see a lot of, like, I have one main camera. The camera I'm shooting with right now is a Panasonic Lumix GH5, which is one of the best cameras for video around. I also do a lot of photography. I find it good for both, but when it comes to making these videos, I just like it. I got a couple of lenses, but I mostly use a 12 to 60 millimeter Leica lens, and that is sort of a nice all-around lens for this kind of stuff. The other one I use is this Lumix, I think it's a G85. This is a good B-roll camera, but also if for some reason the batteries on the GH5 crap out, I can use this camera. I got a couple of batteries for it, and the lenses are all interchangeable. What I really gravitated towards with these Lumix is this micro 4/3 camera, if anyone seems to care, and the lenses are all interchangeable. It's sort of a nice family of stuff I got going on. If only the batteries were the same, that would be ideal, but that's not the case. Anyway, they do great with video. They can shoot a couple different formats. I tend to shoot in the 60 frames per second format because I like to do slow motion for a lot of stuff. It makes my shaky camera work look a lot more smoother and professional, so I like that. I'm mostly doing this out of fun for myself, to entertain myself, but I also really am digging creating something and trying to stick to a schedule by getting a video or two out every week. Basically, that's it. If you have any questions for me in the comments, ask me questions about what I've done, what do I recommend. Like, I'm not a YouTube expert by any means. This is all sort of learning as I go. If you have any questions for me, please put them in the comments below. And if you have any desire to support what I do, because all these videos, they are not sponsored. We have to pay. Anything you see us do is out of our pockets. We don't get sponsored. We don't get paid for hotels. We don't get paid for tickets. It's our money. If you have any desire to sort of support what I do, I just signed up at the site down below called buymeacoffee.com. You can feel free to donate any amount. It's going to go straight back into the channel, and best I can. Buymeacoffee.com. It'll take you a link right to my page. You can donate there to support me, which is very welcomed at this stage. And so yeah, so just if you have any questions, concerns, comments, you want to know more about the cameras that I use, anything like that, I'm glad to answer any questions you may have. If you would like to check out my Instagram and the photography based on some of these trips, it's sort of a mishmash of photography, a lot of it's landscapes, some stuff based on these trips. I'm going to get better at that to try to make it more cohesive, where what videos I post will also have pictures on Instagram. That's down below at Mark D. Natale Photography on Instagram. Again, if you'd like to support this channel in any way, buy me a coffee, link down below. And what can I say? New videos coming every week. I'm hoping to start creating more content more often. And once I get past these videos from Route 66, I'm going to do more Nashville-centric videos. So stay tuned for that. And hopefully this answers some of your questions and introduces myself to people so they can start putting a face with these videos that surface every week. And any questions, put in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.